parents are struggling in the diaspora to keep their children Armenian and Armenian friends, Armenian getrons and everything, going to the church. I don't have that stress here, so I will concentrate on developing their personality as humans and not as Armenians, because everything is Armenian here.
Garen and I were taking the cab and we met so many taxi drivers with so many mistresses, and the fact that it's normal for them to have a wife and other women on the side. But you have to look deeper into why that problem exists here. It goes beyond what you see, what is normal for them.
So do you try to change their opinion?
No, because, for example, I had a driver, he's 18, last year I had a very young driver, and I said, the minute you get married, is it okay for you to have another girl? And he goes, yeah, of course, because that's what he's seen from his father. But we can't generalize. Again, there's good families, there's people who have never had mistresses, but I hate generalizing. But it is a problem. There's a lot of problems. Abortion is a big problem here. But I think I need to focus more and see the statistics or talk a lot to women who have been in those cases to be able to conclude something and tell you, you know what, Robert, this is what happens in Armenia.
Wherever I go, it's the same situation. It's always women hidden behind their kitchen and as if they don't exist, as if they're there only to serve men, to prepare food, to think about the children, to like clean the house, and nothing for themselves, as if they didn't exist, not as persons, not as women. They didn't have a body, they didn't have sexuality, they didn't have nothing. So when we decided finally to come here to live, I said, oh my God, how can I be able to live in it's such a macho society? And plus I have 2 daughters that I can't see them in this society, how they can evolve as women. So I founded this women's center with 2 other friends who are local women, local Armenian women. And whenever we meet, we said, oh my God, this is wrong with women. This is what's happening to women. We don't feel like we have much rights here. We feel discriminated. And we said, why don't we find a space for us?
Կանանց ռեսուրսային կենտրոն, բարև ձեզ, շնորհակալություն, ինչով կարող եմ ձեզ օգնել?
And that's why we started the space. We started with 3 people. Now we're 15 active women who are working there, volunteer. The purpose of this place, most of all, is to create a safe space for women to gather in Armenia and to feel important, to have a voice that they can show, to talk about their problems, and then to start being part of society, because they're not part of society. They're not part of government, they're not part of decision making, they're left behind. Of course, we have a lot of resistance. Last year, we were situated at the Yerevan State University. We were working on campus with the university students, and we started giving sexual education classes, courses, training, and they said, thank you very much, you're out. You know, it's like, it's not something that we need to talk about. They told us, like, why do you talk about this? It's not important for our women to talk about this. So there are different kind of obstacles that we find. But when you live outside in the States or Canada, you can go to any shelter and they will accept you. But here, as a woman, you don't even have a shelter to go to. Armenia was an awakening for me. Like, I was thinking differently when I was outside, and as soon as I came in Armenia, as if I was in touch with myself, and I really understood myself here as a woman and as a person.
I'm going to show you this article they just printed on the family. And it's really funny because they have a shot of me being domestic, which unfortunately is not one of my skills. So this was the cover. It's me and the kids. And then here I am being domestic. Right there, bottom left.
Is that really you?
No. They made me. I'm like, it's not me. I don't do that. And they're like, what shots you don't believe? It'll be very nice. Like, if you want it, I'll do it, but it's not.
Do you
me.
find attitudes in Armenia sexist?
Not as much anymore. I think that's one of the main reasons I wanted to move here. I wanted to break those stereotypes of gender, but it's not really an issue anymore. But I do get called a strong woman, so I think they recognize active women and passive women. When I see how close families are here and how knit they are, I want to be a part of that. So when I married an Armenian from here, it was just an added bonus to be a part of that closeness that you really see, you know, falling apart in some cases in the States.
Some of them said to me really that my life in the US was almost boring. You know, it worked out so nicely, everything was in its place. You know, I'd done my degree, I'd got a good job, I was earning good money and all that, and I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more meaningful. So some of them actually seem to be motivated by some desire to find meaning or something more interesting or challenging. Yeah, challenging, yeah, but also feeling that they're making a difference.
I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet, and I'm surrounded by wonderful people trying to give this project their best. They've got all their pride at stake, all their honor at stake, all their patriotism at stake, and there's a certain kind of love too that gets generated in the process. And love, after all, is one of the most important things in the world and in life. And so I love what I do, and I love what I do because we all love each other in this project, and we're doing this project as a labor of love.
I am the Director of Public Relations and Events for the Confession Museum Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are set on building an art museum here in Yerevan, an international museum of art which will bring the best of the world to Armenia and will bring Armenia to the rest of the world, the best of Armenia to the rest of the world. We will definitely put Yerevan on the map of international art. That's what I do.
I'm the executive director of the Paros Foundation, which is an organization that we've started with the Strout-Kulhanjan family in San Francisco. Roger and his wife Julie and their family support several charitable endeavors here in Armenia. And they've gotten very involved in this entity called the Paros Chamber Choir, which is an amazing group of performers that all happen to be disabled. And they're amazing in and of themselves for their singing ability. So it's not just promoting the choir, it's changing the mentality within Armenia of people with disabilities.
We basically meet diaspora Armenians every single day, like 365 days a year. And everybody has a mission. Even if it's their first time, we try to tell them that, you know what, you could find a job here, you could be part of an organization, do something good for Hayastan. So it's always fun to be here.
That's the problem with Armenian Americans that come here. A big majority of them do not mingle with the local population.
But I have to tell you something too, that I'm part of that group of diaspora Armenians, but I've been spending 12 to 13 to 14 hours a day with Garen, who's not a diaspora Armenian. And I think I also want to show people that it's possible to get together with local Armenians and do something good. So, bye.
I remember being so impressed that despite the serious poverty they lived in, these people never asked me for anything. And here I was involved with a very big and important project in Gyumri, which was handing out housing certificates to people in Gyumri. And one day I ran into a member of the family in Gyumri. She had a big smile on her face, and I said, what are you doing here? And she said, well, I just received an apartment under the program. I said, my goodness, you were involved with the program and you never told me about it? And she said, oh, I wouldn't want to bother you. And I thought to myself, well, these are wonderful people. I love these people. So, and they were, you know, people were poor, but they worked so hard. And I said to myself, well, there must be something better these people can do with all this energy and get something more in return for it than this poverty. And finally, one of them said, well, it'd be nice if we could have a small cheese making station. So in the end, we built a cheese factory and a dairy farm.